Hey everyone, I want to take a moment today to share with you a thought from Hebrews chapter 12 verses 1 and 2. Let me read it and then we'll talk about it for a minute. And let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross, disregarding its shame. I love Hebrews chapter 11 and 12, and these couple of verses are sort of a linchpin to those two chapters, and it's amazing to me how much weight is in these couple of verses. Because of the joy awaiting him, Jesus endured the cross and disregarded the shame. Do you understand that you're that joy? That as Jesus endured the suffering and the pain, and as he was in the garden and the sweat was turning to blood, that the thing that kept him going forward was, number one, the trust in his Father, and number two, us initiating and perfecting our faith. There's something that we learn in this, though. Number one, if you're going to endure, the scripture says that we have to set our eyes on Jesus. And if we're really looking at Jesus here, there's something that we've got to learn. That there is great importance in embracing the process, enduring the process, being willing to go through the process that the Father has laid before you, even when it's difficult, even when it's not fun, even when it stretches you beyond anything you ever thought you'd be stretched. The reason is because there's a joy awaiting you. Now, I don't know what your joy is. The joy for every believer ultimately is to be in eternity in his presence. But on your personal life, you have some joys, whether it's a level of success that you're hoping for, a measure of spiritual authority and power that you walk in, or a depth in your relationship with the Lord that you're hoping to reach. Whatever that joy is in your life, you've got to embrace. I've got to embrace that there is a process to getting there. And one of the things that always fascinates me about Jesus is he didn't reject the process. He didn't try to go in a shorter route. He didn't try to skip around steps. Whether it was him being baptized, which to me just sounds crazy that Jesus, the Son of God, would have to be baptized, but he did it because it was a step in the Father's process. Or 40 days fasting in the wilderness and being tempted. He embraced the moment. Or to Gethsemane and the cross and all of the pain and the rejection and the mocking and the hurt that he endured in that moment. He did it understanding that the process, however difficult it may be, was getting him to the joy. Look, there have been times in my life when I look back and I remember how I felt in difficult moments, and how I didn't want to be enduring that type of stress. I didn't want to be going through that pressure. I didn't like the rejection I felt. I didn't like the failure that seemed to be all around me. I didn't like the hurt. I hated the feeling of being disappointed. But with the perspective that time allows, when I look back on those moments, I realized that those were defining moments in my life. They were a huge part of God's process, getting me to the joy that awaited me. Getting me to the next place, to the next step. A lot of times in America, we preach a message that tends to skew away from pain or disappointment or frustration. We a lot of times like our messages to be uber positive and to make us feel good. But the truth is, when you read the scripture, it's clear with every man and woman of God in the Bible that did anything of weight, they had to endure some difficulty. It's a part of the process. It's a part of the pruning. It's a part of the pressure that creates the pearl. I want to encourage you today. Don't run from the process. Don't hide from the difficulty. Hit it head on and embrace it. And just keep your eyes focused on Jesus. And keep your eyes focused on the joy that's awaiting you. And I promise, although it's tough, you'll be able to look back one day and say, God, I saw you in it, and I see how you changed me. I love you, and I bless you.